Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. Let's just check the audio around the studio. Looking good. Okay, let's get ready for a Palantir earnings. Palantir earnings coming up in just over an hour, just at the close. And we were looking at it, but I also want to share with you some thoughts of Tom Lee this morning. I've been looking at talking about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, the trades, how it will affect things. Does it make a difference who wins? Also, looking at Warren Buffett, who's taken a position, starting to take some heat off the market. And of course, that also comes down to capital gains may change next year. But of course, rates are going to come down. The rate of return is going to drop. So you're going to want to get back in again on the markets. So anyway, there's all that to think about. So I do think, and I said before, and it's why I'm all in and why I'm in margin as well, that I do think that we're going to get a good rally after the markets. Traditionally, that's what happens. Also, I don't really think it makes a difference who wins, to be honest with you. I think the markets like certainty. They like to know what's going on. Even though it makes a difference. Kind of strange, isn't it, really? But I feel it makes opportunity. If the market should drop tomorrow, remember, we might not even get a result tomorrow. It might take even a week because of the big states like Pennsylvania. It could easily take a longer. Then, of course, if Trump loses, he might contest it. Whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know. But I think we're going to have a lot of volatility. And then, of course, we have the Fed on Wednesday giving us the earnings. Giving us the FOMC report. Of course, we're going to cover that live. Tomorrow, we're going to cover the election live. There's a lot of volatility, a lot of movement and action going on. So anyway, I think it's all good. It's all good if you are holding your positions and you're just buying the dips and you're not really worried. I think that's the way to go. Anyway, let me show you this. We've got the Palantir earnings coming up in an hour or so. At the end of this broadcast, we'll go live with the Palantir earnings. So that's all coming up. So stand by for that. But right now, I want to cover this story here. So let's have a little look into here. So I'm going to start it from here. And I may put this out as a video. So where are we? What time are we into the show? Let's have a quick look. Where are we? We've been going for quite a while. We are 40 minutes. We've been streaming live, so let's do this. 40 rally to end the year. I think so. Okay, let's get ready. This is my portfolio. We are red slightly, so we'll just change that. There we go. Okay. Rally to the end of the year after the market settled back down again after the election. What about Warren Buffett selling his positions, reducing some heat from Berkshire Hathaway? Is it because of the possibility of capital gains rules changing? I think it's more to do with taking some money off the table. Remember, he can move the markets, drive things down, but the cost of borrowing is going to be reduced. He'll be pressured to buy back in again. Anyway, one of my favorite broadcasters is Tom Lee from Fundstrat. I share a lot of his thoughts, actually. I do believe it makes no difference who wins the election. I do think it's presenting opportunity, volatility, which is great. We all love volatility and opportunity here on the show. I'm all in with margin as well. I'm completely happy. But let's have a quick listen in to what Tom Lee has to say here. And I will sort of stop it at certain points and talk about it. Will we get a rally to the end of the year? Will there be a Santa rally? And how it'll all play out after the earnings. We've got Palantir coming up after this event. But right now, I want to cover this. So here we go. Let's have a quick listen in here. All right.
Following last week's inflation and jobs data, It's an interesting time to get some perspective from our next guest, Tom Lee. It says be prepared for volatility. Tom is managing partner and head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors, as well as a CNBC contributor. Would you say, towards the last time you were on, you talked about the Trump trade being pretty strong.
Let's just pause at that point. The Trump trade, of course, we're talking about DJT, Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin kind of went up to 72 and back down again. Didn't really do anything. I sold it all at 70. I'm not really that bothered about it. I feel there are much better, safer, more guaranteed opportunities. And remember, it's all about not losing money. I don't ever lose money on trades. And if you focus on not losing money, then you'll always make money. We talked about that in a video this morning. What about the DJT trade? Well, I talked about that as well and said I wouldn't touch it because it's too volatile, makes no sense, has no fundamental value. I only buy businesses that I can own and forget about. It went all the way up and then it's back down again. Now it's going up again. It's merely a roller coaster of gambling. It's not for me, but let's hear what Tom Lee has to say about the Trump trade.
A lot of things turned back, reversed. DJT reversed. Bitcoin didn't move into the mid-70s, got in the low 70s. I don't know whether the banks and other Trump trades changed, and all the betting markets certainly moderated late last week, came back a little bit. Do you have a change in your opinion on the election now?
Well, it does seem like over the last 4 or 5 days, the election really narrowed when you look at betting markets or the polls. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily trust polls, but I think the quality and the adjustments to the polls have made them more accurate. So I think it is really a toss-up, and it's going to be a very close election. And something our clients are preparing for, because we did a survey last week, 76% don't think we'll have a winner declared election night. And 43% roughly expect it 1 week after. So I think markets are kind of bracing for this period of uncertainty. I think that's why many of the trades have reversed.
We've also heard about some of the trading houses.
And that also presents great opportunity if we did get a big drop tomorrow during elections day. That's why we're going to be live all day. I have my finger on the button. I have bought some more S&P, and I have probably somewhere in the region of $5,000 to $10,000 extra to buy more dips on the S&P. Let's see what happens. I certainly will. I mean, I don't just say I'm going to trade. If it drops, I am absolutely 100% going to buy. There is no question about it.
That are not going to be putting any software updates in this week, even some people who want to be here rather than overseas to make sure they're closer on the ground to see what happens too.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a week where there's going to be a lot of worry. One thing I was thinking about over the weekend, though, is I think the market's fear of uncertainty will peak before, it's very likely it peaks before the election outcome's actually decided.
These signals that we've been looking at, one of the things, I don't know if you read about it, and I think we talked about it during commercial break last week. One of the things that's happened in the polls is the view that there's a lot more women going to vote than before. But that these signals, whether it be Bitcoin or whether it be DJT stock or whether it be the betting markets, may.
I will make a prediction here, and I am watching this the first time with you. Women don't tend to trade Bitcoin, and they don't tend to trade DJT, which concerns me because they own it. They own more so they own Bitcoin than owning DJT. But what it shows me is women are a lot more sensible when it comes to these things. They don't trade Bitcoin, and they don't trade DJT. They don't own DJT either, but they do own Bitcoin. It shows you that women tend to be more long-term investors rather than the emotional scalp trading and the gambling element of DJT. Let's see what they say. And again, I haven't seen this yet, so this is all being watched for the first time.
Also all be off, if this is true, on the assumption that actually there is a very small percentage of the people in the betting markets who are women, for example. There's a very small percentage of people who are women who actually trade in Bitcoin, not who own Bitcoin, but who trade in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Very small group of women who are trading in DJT stock. What do you think of that?
I think there's some credence to that, just because we know, like when you look at the Iowa polls, it was really the.
I've just seen a comment in the chat. In fact, I can't actually read your name out, unfortunately, or show it on the screen. I can't show your comment because you've used a swear word in your username, so I can't put your comment on the screen. I wanted to, but I can't share it. You just said that's a very sexist remark, Mr. Lucas. Many smart women trade Bitcoin and DJT in very small numbers. That's what I said. Very few trade it. And you just heard from two analysts, including Tom Lee, that I was correct. And as I say, I haven't watched this yet. I'm watching it live with you for the first time, and they've just agreed with me. So it's not a sexist remark; it's a fact. Women do own Bitcoin. Very few own DJT. These are facts. These are known numbers, and very few, less again, trade Bitcoin. They hold it. It's not a sexist comment. It's purely an observation of facts, has just been proved out by world leading analysts here live as I'm showing you. So it's not a matter of being sexist whatsoever. And I would share your comment on the screen. I just can't because you've used a strong word in the title there.
Senior women voters, that changed a lot, and you're right. These markets can be narrow, and they're very responsive to just changes in liquidity. And I think it's a very tight race. I mean, it's going to be very close. I think anyone who thinks that they know who's going to win is really playing with fate, because I think it's a very tight race.
Yeah.
It's interesting from when polls close too, because we've got. I mean, there's a.
I think it's a very important thing as well going into tomorrow, not to be trading or making financial decisions based on the outcome. What I'm investing in, and as you know, I've currently got, and I'll share with you, over $200,000. It won't be long before I have $250,000 invested. There's my main account. There's my Roth IRA. You add the margin, and I've got 123. As you can see there, if you've got 173, including margin, adding my retirement IRA, I'm over $200,000. So, $200,000 isn't nothing. And it's important to note that there's nothing here that has anything to do with the election. Big money, and the bigger the money gets, less gambling you take. I know millionaires and a billionaire, and they don't risk money at all. They make money all the time. They never lose money. Like what I said this morning on my other video, how I traded and beat the market by 6x. I said it's about focusing on not losing money, not making money. Making money is easy. It's knowing how not to lose it is the important thing. So, no one knows the outcome, and trading on the outcome now is Russian roulette.
Couple here, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia are all East Coast. So, if you have some definitive answers, they also, supposedly Virginia and New Hampshire are closer than people in the Harris camp would like. So there could be surprises early on.
Just wonder how long it takes when you have so many more people who have voted early or mail-in votes too. Those take longer to tally. So I mean, you might just by default be
like last time.
Yeah. I actually voted last week, and I actually had to wait for a lot of people. I mean, turnout is really what's going to swing this election.
And there's a number of states, obviously, that, by the way, get the early votes and then don't begin to tally them afterwards. And for all sorts of reasons that I would raise some real questions about why they're not tallying them.
Kind of a bummer.
When jump in at this point, and I'd love someone to tell me, but unfortunately, I don't know why it is, in America, it takes so long. It takes longer than many third world countries to total the votes. In England, it's all done in one day. It's done by about 10 o'clock that evening. I don't understand it. I've no idea how the most powerful country in the world is incapable of adding up the votes in a sensible time. I have no idea why it can go up to a week. No idea why that is. Don't say to me it's because there are 350 million people and there are only 75 million in the UK. That's not an argument at all. There's going to be less counters, there's going to be less polling stations and so on. You have as many polling stations and you have as many counters as you need to service the people that live there. So to say there's less people is silly. It can be done. You just have more polling stations, more counters, and you get the job done. I don't know why it has to be so slow. Then it invites controversy, challenges, people saying what's going on, and they're talking about counting now. I wouldn't be surprised if they get into some sort of debate about that. But anyway, let's see what they have to say. It does fuel the argument of conspiracy of what's really going on. There's no reason for this. It doesn't happen in other countries. And in fact, some third world countries in Africa do their polling faster than the United States, and there's even more people. So I don't know what it is, what the reason is for this.
Sometimes it's written into state legislation.
No, I understand that, but there's a view among those who are cynical about that they're not counting them until after,
right.
So that.
And there are, we've seen it.
Except for what if
there's other countries that know that know by the end of the day. There's other countries that know that night, and they've been talking to, we're like a little bit envious looking around.
Yeah, you should be able to count.
Here's the problem. If they were counting them early and it was some secret, because you wouldn't want them releasing what the vote count was early, what if it got out? I mean, that's the problem with starting the count early.
I have not heard that as the explanation for it,
I'm just
and it's
raising
only red states that have done this. So you can think whatever you want to think about that.
So
what do you think
other than the election, because the elections, that's sort of what you hear about Wall Street. Elections don't really matter anyway. So if it is gridlock, which we don't know, but more likely, I think the odds are on that too. So you're still bullish?
Yeah, I'm bullish only in the sense that election uncertainty has caused people to de-risk and cash to sit on the sidelines, but the fundamentals have been good. Earnings season's been very good. The Fed is dovish, and I don't think it's going to matter who ends up in the White House. Even if it's split Congress or a sweep, I think markets do pretty well either way. So it sets up for a really good rally into year-end. But when it starts in November is just what we don't know.
No.
And it doesn't matter. We don't have to know. If you are an investor, you are simply making the trades like I explained this morning. 19 trades, 19 wins. If you've not yet seen that video, by the way, I've just put out a video where I explained the trades that I did while I was away, focusing on never losing, not winning, but focusing on never losing. I've just put out this video. I'll share it with you here. 19 trades, 19 wins. I ended up with about 4 or 5 shares of the S&P completely for free by trading. It's a 29-minute video. It explains it all in detail, how I did it. Then I asked you to vote on a poll. Should I continue live trading? Do you like the idea of me going back to trading again? So go and check that video out. Go to the video section on the homepage of the channel. Go down to videos and you'll see there's a few. There's the 6x NVIDIA price, US election love. I paid a tribute to the United States. US election trade, how I'm trading it. Undervalue stocks, earnings for Virgin Galactic, earnings for Palantir. That's what we're talking about today. And the FOMC report on Wednesday. Let's go back to this final thoughts here. Let's see what they say about the year end. Here we go. Let's have a little listen in.
So when you look at we were talking about what Buffett's thinking with Apple or what he's thinking with bank. I mean, that Buffett. You take Apple and a leading financial, and that covers a pretty big range of the markets. And Andrew thinks he's building an ark. Could you really? That wouldn't work. There's too many species to bring on there with him.
I'm just saying he's building a cash ark. An ark out of cash or something. Or is that what he's doing? He may be doing something else. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know part of it is he's anticipating capital gains taxes could change, so he's taking those gains now. And he's not necessarily having a big cost of money because he's earning 5%. But next year, the cost of money is going to drop, so he'll have some pressure to deploy it.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about.
There's the election this week, but also a small matter.
Let's just leave that there. Let me just close that down. So what do you think about that? Do you agree with me that it doesn't make a difference now who wins the election, that we will get a rally? Anyway, there you go. That's my thoughts. I do believe that we will end up with a rally at the end of the year. I've got $200,000 now, $200,000 now invested. I'm very bullish. I'm not worried. We will cover the Palantir earnings tonight. If you're watching this video before the Palantir earnings, I'm making it during our Palantir warm up. We've got the US election live all day tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we've got the FOMC report. We'll be covering that. Plus, we have Virgin Galactic earnings in the evening. Both of these were requested by members. If you are a member and you do a $5 minimum super chat, you can book your own earnings. Not only will I cover the earnings, but I'll make the promotional videos before and after to promote it, to get everyone to be aware of the stock. So if you want to get a video out about the stock, plus you want me to cover the earnings, you have to be a member, and it's a $5 super chat. And we can do 4 earnings a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, because we've got the extra channel, so we can double up as well. All right, there you go. That's what I think about the election and the Santa rally, which I believe is inevitable, imminent, in fact. So click above my head for all the links down below in the description. Over here, I shall put, what should I put over here? I shall put the NVIDIA... sorry, not the NVIDIA. We've got that coming up as well. We'll put the US election here. That's tomorrow. Down here, I shall put the FOMC report. And just down there, I shall put a tribute to Quincy Jones. I recorded this morning as Quincy Jones passed away this morning early before my show started. So I put out a special tribute to him on my music channel. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. All right. Okay. Now then, we've got just half an hour to go before I end this show and then go into the Palantir earnings. This is the Palantir earnings coming up tonight. Palantir earnings, very interesting stock. Alex Karp, very interesting chap. I will say though, it's the best earnings you've ever seen. If you want a professional earnings, you won't find better than Alex Karp and the team, as I will present that to you tonight. So we look forward to that. So as we go into it, I'm going to show you some figures and some numbers, what we might expect. Let me read some of these comments before I do. Let's have a quick look. MSK's here. I got a lovely message from MSK. Unfortunately, WhatsApp wouldn't let me save it. I wanted to save the audio and let everyone hear it, but it was nice. I got, while on holiday, I got a nice message from MSK. It was lovely. State rules and legal challenges are slow counting results. It doesn't have to be that way. I don't know why it is that way in America, but that is the reason you're saying. William, precision fermentation is tech developed by the guy who invented synthetic insulin. It may be that it can be used to produce the food molecule. Thank you, William. Lovely to have you here. Nick69, hello everyone. Welcome to you. Where are you from? Good evening, Nick69. Meet James007. Wow, we've missed you guys. Elba, I send our love to the family. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerry and Elba, for watching all of the music videos over the through October. I did notice that. Let me bring up PLTR again. We'll come back to this in a minute. Whoops. PLTR. Bloody hell, really? PLTR. Oh my God. How many times? Right. Okay. Got there in the end. That was a bit difficult. Nick, are you still holding Matador? A question for Stephen Lewandowski. Hi, James. Good evening, everybody. If you wasn't here this morning, we had an extended show this morning, plus about 6 or 7 videos have gone out today. I want to thank all of you for supporting the channel while I was away. We only lost 4 members, and then 2 of them came back this morning. So thank you so much indeed so we only lost 2 members for the whole of October. So thank you very much indeed. All those $1 tips, the $1, $2 memberships add up, and I was able to earn a little bit of money through October. Made about $1,000 in October rather than 0, which was 2 years ago. That was that was amazing. Thank you very much indeed for staying a member of the channel and watching the videos. That was great. Capital gains hopefully stays the same and harvesting too. Yes, I hope so. Hi, William. I'm bullish too. However, most of my portfolio is SMH, not VU, Iberian Wolf. Good luck to you. Hi, Mike. Here he is, Vaz. Vaz sent me a message earlier, and he said, because you may notice I'm now wearing a different color tie. I'm wearing a different tie every day. I've got 30 ties, so every day I'll wear a different tie. I've decided no more black ties now, season 4. I was hoping that the war in Ukraine would be over, but I can't be doom and gloom forever. So we're now going to be different colored tie every day. So I'm not using the black tie anymore. And Vaz said, if you auction it on eBay, if the money goes to our charity partner, which is Development Alert in Uganda, he'll bid on it. So there you go. I'll sign the back of it, and you'll have a piece of memorabilia from the show. So anyway, thinking about that. I did it years ago. Once upon a time, you've seen the pictures when I used to do a Michael Jackson tribute. I toured all over the world doing Michael Jackson and stuff. And there was a guy, a family, who followed me around. And in the end, I had to change. I had special shoes for doing the moonwalk, special pair of loafers so you can moonwalk. And it was time to replace them. And he said the same thing. If you put them on eBay, I'll buy them. And I couldn't believe it. I thought no one's going to want to do that. So I did. And this guy ended up in an auction battle to buy my shoes. And he turned up. I kid you not. He turned up at a gig. It was in Cornwall in England, actually. He turned up at a theatre show. And he pointed down and he went, "Look, I'm wearing your shoes." That was weird. A tie I can live with, but a pair of shoes, that was a bit strange. Anyway, he actually bought and then came to the gig wearing my shoes. Anyway, there you go. Vaz, I'm bloody late again. Don't you worry, mate. I've actually learned some new songs for Friday for my vacation. Some special music that I want to play to you on Friday. So hopefully you'll join me for that, Vaz. You always do support the music channel. And thanks for looping those 2 songs, by the way. I see it all the time. As always, good God says, my good God indeed. Good evening, Vaz, indeed. MSK, everybody's here. Good God, Martin. I know. I do the same. Yes, Matador. Thanks, Stephen Lewandowski. All right. Okay, so let's talk about, we've got half an hour to go before Palantir. Let's just have a little look at it at the moment, shall we? We'll have a quick look at Matador. We'll look at some of the numbers, what we might expect. There's the Matador chart. We're not going to focus on that. That's what Sensei does on a Sunday, Sensei Sunday. Let's have a look here, though. We've got Seeking Alpha analysts. Like I say before, I'm an analyst on Seeking Alpha. Doesn't make you right, doesn't make you wrong, doesn't get no qualifications. It's just the way things are. They say hold. Quant, which is the AI software for Seeking Alpha, they say a hold. Wall Street also say a hold. Valuation for Palantir has remained the same. It's expensive. I won't buy it. It's the sort of stock I won't buy. Now, I do own it, of course, through the S&P, so I'm very happy with that. It's great to have them on board the S&P. So if they do well tonight, that's nice. I think they'll do okay, but they are very expensive. But then, a lot of these stocks are, but they are expensive. If we looked at, I think, NVIDIA this morning, the forward PE ratio was in the 40s. I thought 47 forward, which I liked. If we look at Palantir, the forward PE, if I can find it here, Let's have a look. Yeah, the forward. Look, see, you think Nvidia's expensive. Its forward is 117 times. That is the forward price, which is supposed to be lower if they're growing, right? If you look at the actual lagging indicator, we are looking at 246 times. It's absolutely insane. It reminds me of Tesla. When Tesla first came out, it's got that cult-like status following. Everyone buys it regardless of how much you pay for it. I won't touch it. I think it's a bad idea. Excuse me a moment. Just kicking off my shoes there. There we go. A bit more comfortable. I'm not used to the heat of Texas yet. It's a bit hot at the moment. Anyway, so 117 times earnings forward and 240 plus lagging. That's pretty insane. So it's a great innovative stock. It does great things. However, it is very, very, very expensive. Now, if you do want to access Seeking Alpha like I am, with my referral, you can not only get a free trial, but also a discount. There's a good discount running at the moment. And here's Alpha Spread as well. Let's look at the intrinsic value, and all my members get a discount with this as well. Without my referrals, you don't get any of these things. So there you go. Let's go and have a look at Palantir here as we prepare for the earnings tonight. See what I mean? Intrinsic value, $8. That's what it's actually worth. Base case. Worst case scenario, it's worth $7. You see what I mean? And even best case, it's insanely expensive. I'm not going to go out and buy Palantir, but if you want to buy it and pump it up, that's fine because I own it through the S&P. But I wouldn't buy it. It's pretty bonkers if you ask me. If we scroll down and take a look at some of the numbers are okay. We are moving up, but not in relationship. Hello, Paul Xavier. Thanks for your subscription. If you've just turned up, tap the like and consider subscribing. Would really appreciate that very much indeed. Yeah, the revenue is climbing, but not at the same cadence as its price, unfortunately. So it doesn't really make a great deal of sense, in my opinion. But, there you go. That's just how it is. People don't seem to care about valuations today. Well, I do. I think it's a bad way to invest. But anyway, the revenue's going up. Operating income is up 48%. That looks pretty nice, but not on the ratio of where we are. 36% net income. I mean, it's a steady growth. There's no S-curve here. There needs to be an S-curve to catch up to its price. Financing cash flow is down 35%. Investing cash flow is down 15%, which is a positive. Operating cash flow is up 8%. Again, not big enough numbers. 5.2 billion in assets, of which 4 is cash. Very cash-rich company. That's great, but you remember I've always said before, it's great that they're efficient, and we'll look at the margins in a minute, but it's great that they're efficient. However, just sitting around with buckets of cash is not a business. You can have, you're not buying someone's cash. I want cash to work. I want it to be deployed, building the business. It's great they've got cash, but 4 billion out of 5.2 is a bit rich, bit cash rich. However, on the other hand, they've only got 1 billion of liabilities, and they've got no short-term debt, and they've got no long-term debt. So their actual balance sheet is pretty good. It will show good. But, there you go. Just sitting around with buckets of cash. I think I've just got a comment coming in here now. It's technology. That reminds me. I thought you were talking about the stock, because technology stocks have lots of money, right? But I think we know what we're all talking about. Technology, MSK. Zach's right? He was here this morning. FCF margin, 28%. Net margin, 16%. Operating margin, 12%. Gross margin, 81%. That's why this stock is overbought. That's the number that everyone likes. They like the gross margin. They look at the gross margin headline figure and go, great, 81%, but yet net margin is 16%. It's not quite as fantastic as it first appears, but nevertheless, there's the margin for you. ROCE at 8%. If you want full definition of these qualifications, you need to use my software and you can go into more detail. ROIC 28%, ROA 9%, 12% ROE. Let's scroll down to the profitability score, 48%. Now, this is what I just said. Very often people look at intrinsic valuation, that sometimes can be out, and buy on that, or they'll look at the gross margin. Remember, that's before expenses, and they'll buy from that. And you shouldn't buy from that. You should buy from the overall balance sheet, the overall structure of the stock and the overall position, right? As you can see, 48% profitable. That's really bad for an AI, tech stock. Think of Apple, think of Amazon. Well, not so much Amazon, but, well, yeah, Amazon as well. But think of Apple, think of those numbers, Microsoft, Google, think of those numbers. This is nowhere near. So, what started out as 85% gross ends up at 48%, a 48% score isn't very good at all. That's what I'm saying. It's overbought, it's overpriced, no matter how amazing you think it is. Now, the solvency score, people will like that. They'll look at that and go, 81%, great. It's not going bust. No, it's not going bust because, you might have a rubbish business, but if you've got, for example, if I opened a business tomorrow and I had $10 in cash, I had no debts, no expenses, but I had $10 in cash, I would have 100% solvency score. Brilliant. You can bet you can invest in me because I'm not going bust ever. And that's right. You can't go bust if you don't owe any money. It's all about the debts. You can't service your debts. Simple as that. If you've got no debts and $10, you've got a perfect 100% solvency score. However, that doesn't make you a business, because if you gave me money, I've got to be able to promise to give you a return of at least 13%. If I can't give you 13%, what the hell's the point? You might just buy the S&P. If I can't give you 5%, what's the point? You can just invest in Robinhood and get the uninvested cash interest, right? So nothing great about having 81%. It's great. It's better than having a low score, but you want it with a high profitability and high use of the cash, not just sitting around. So it's not a great business to invest in. It's a great innovative, principled idea, and what they do is great. However, it's not an investment, in my opinion. 78% downside, worst case scenario. 30% downside, average position. Highest, 26%. So 26%, you can get 13% without the risk on the S&P if you include reinvesting dividends and inflation and the higher end. But 26%, I don't feel is enough to pay to justify the price tag of this business. So there's my thought on that. That's pretty much all I wanted to say on it, really. Insiders have been dumping the stock, and that tells you a lot, doesn't it? Insiders have been selling the stock, not been buying the stock. Well, why the hell would they buy it? Why would you? I mean, they know what it's worth. Remember, when they set up their business, they would have had shares in the cents per share. So now it's $41 a share and it's thousands of times too expensive. They just go, well, I think I'll take some profit. You can't really blame them, can you? Anyway, that's my thought on that. Let's have a look. What did Schwab say here? Just coming up to the earnings in a moment. So let's have a quick listen in.
Following pretty closely, or you're interested in it today?
Absolutely, and good morning to you too. It's a name I've been following all year long. Really have just been enjoying this evolution of the AI trade. Now, we've been talking for a very long time about the hardware component of the AI trade. Of course, everybody knows about NVIDIA, but there is a software side to it too. Palantir really is the test case for that, and they're ahead of the market in this big mass data analysis game that they play. And they've just had a tremendous year. They've been growing their customer base, and has really generated a lot of excitement. And a lot of that is a little bit of hype. A lot of that is people pricing in this growth in the AI down the road. So there is just a lot of volatility in these names, but it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to see the AI narrative really unfold with Palantir.
Do you feel like people are thinking that this name has run up so much that it should pull back, or that this could be sort of a catalyst to move to even higher highs?
Yeah, so people are very excited about this earnings event. Now, the long-term investors are just kind of curious what's going on right now under the hood. What's happening right in this moment is very interesting for the traders, for sure. The market, I think the market's going to have a big move after this earnings. Of course, anything that's been up 140% on the year is going to be scrutinized very harshly on earnings. Market's expecting 25 to 30% top line growth. I think it's going to move off of that. The top line earnings per share, I think that's going to be what the market's going to be moving on. If it's less than 30%, I think the market might feel a little disappointed with that result, expecting some really explosive growth out of this number. But I think the long-term holders may even welcome the pullback, looking to buy some more on a pullback. The long-term holders are really going to be focusing in on the revenue retention, the customer base growing. So that's really, for me, that's what I want to see too. I want to see how many customers have they added. Their existing customers have had more than a year. How much are they growing off of that revenue? So that's really what really drives me about Palantir, because they're not really charging as much as they necessarily could for Foundry. They're not really really dialing it up. It reminds me of really startups with founders as their CEO really see the big picture. They're not looking about this quarter. Yeah, it'd be great if they had a good quarter, but they're really looking about 5 years down the line, more so than the next quarter. So they're looking about building their client base, because they feel the more clients they have today, the more they're going to have in the future. And they know once they get a client, they're going to keep them. So I want to see how many clients they've grown this quarter, and how fast they can grow new clients, and how much money they're making off of clients that they've had for a year. So that's the story for me. For me, it's a much longer term story than just one quarter.
Sure. And look, it's gone from $15 to $45. It's had an incredible run this year. Also made a recent partnership.
Yes, it has grown, but it's not grown to that degree. It's just people buying it. A lot of young traders who just buy anything, but like DJT, like Tesla when it first came out, like crypto when it first broke, and all the rest of it. That's not a reason to buy it. The fundamental value of this company just doesn't add up to the price. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I've said before, use the argument, I can show you the best can of Coke you've ever seen in your life. Just been made fresh, literally just come out of the factory at Coca-Cola, and they've put it in a really nice can. They've polished it all up. It's as good as Coke could possibly be. It's been chilled. I've got a nice glass with ice and lemon ready to pour it. It can't be better. It's a hot summer's day. You're really thirsty. However, is it worth $1,000 for that can of Coke? Well, of course it's not. It's $1. It's a can of Coke. It's $1. It's worth $1. Unless it was the last can of Coke left in the world, it's worth $1. You can't just pay anything for it, and that's why over October, 19 trades, 19 wins. I only buy companies that I focus on not losing rather than winning, and I won 19 times out of 19. And why my Roth that I've been trading on is 6x the stock market, 6x the S&P. I showed you that in this morning's video. Gambling, buying stocks that are fundamentally overvalued, ultimately will lead to misery. It's not investing, it's speculating. at the very least.
With L3 Harris, and that's for U.S. Army deals, right, as they support the U.S. Army programs. And, you know, AI is the Palantir side of things. To the software point, as you noted, they'll have more sensor and software-defined systems from L3 Harris. Will this take them to the next leg? I mean, this is a 45, it's $41 today. 45 was the high. I mean, do you see it breaking new highs? Do you see it at 60 next year?
It would have to be a really blowout number to break it off of this earnings event. Now, the market's pricing in 11%. That makes sense to me. Yeah, so we could see 46, 47 on a market maker move to the upside. If they really blow out their expectation, we could see 35, 34 on a really negative result. So we're expecting some pricey, some big moves off of this earnings. And I think the market will probably be right about that. But for me, yes, I absolutely think it can surpass 45. I think it's more a longer term play, and it will just have to continue to build their client base. Now they have really large clients like government institutions like you're talking about, but cities and hospitals and it just goes on and on. The amount of people, companies, Fortune 500 companies, but also like municipalities that could use this software is just really mind-boggling. So I think it's the very early stages still. Their upside is nowhere in sight, but it's just a matter of materializing it, bringing new customers on board, and then of course starting to gain more profit off of your existing customers, and also just how quickly can they get new customers to get.
I think we can leave it there because there's no real substance now. This guy is more of a fan than an investor. He's getting very passionate and excited about it, but he's not really basing it on any evidence of financial value there. It's just more he's a fan of the stock and he's pumping it for his own ends and trying to entice everyone to do the same. So I think we'll leave it there. He's not really providing any substance whatsoever. So anyway, Palantir, we've got the earnings coming up very shortly. We're going to end this broadcast on the bell, go over to the Palantir earnings. And before I went away on my vacation, I was ranking for this stock and would expect a decent audience. I don't know what it will be. I have to go to work and do some videos to start ranking again before I will rank quicker. It's like muscle memory. If you exercise, it will come back quicker. But it might take an earnings. The next earnings will be great, but this earnings might be a little bit down, but we'll see how it all pans out. So that being said, we've got a few minutes to go. We will do a day trader of the day on the bell. Let's have a quick listen in to CNBC, see what they're saying. There's not much going on there at the minute. I'll come back to that when they come back. Let me read the comments. MSK, I hope that whoever wins the election gets the job done for Tillay. Tillay, would my viewers like a bit of Tillay before we go? I know Mike loves it. TL, we rank for this, so a good bullish report on Tillay would be nice. All right? Okay. Let's make some money for Mike. Tillay, let's have a little look at Tillay. We'll leave Palantir on the screen for a minute. How much time have we got? 10 minutes. I can go over anyway after the bell. I want to. Tillay. If you are a member and you do a $5 super chat, I will cover the earnings expected January 9th, pre-market. So we just had an earnings, have we? Yes. Yeah, we did. So that's January 9th. So there's no earnings coming up there. Let's have a little look. October 10. Not much news at the moment. Let's have a look at the PEG ratio. No, because not making any money. Okay. No real revisions. Not a great reason to buy it, if I'm honest, but we'll cover it anyway. So let's have a little look. 40 rally. Okay, so TLRY. What's the time? Thank you everyone who's watching on Extra tonight. Thanks to all of you. Let's have a look. Tillay, 1 hour 27. 127. Right. That's Palantir there. Okay. Let's bring this up. The election tomorrow. There we go. Okay. It'll fly like the carpet. Do you guys think that solar power, wind, battery will be cheaper than nuclear in 10 years? That's a good question. I sent 5 for NU. I sent 5 for NU. When did you do that? Oh! What do you think about NU? Jerry and Elba, you did a $5 super chat. What do you think about NU? I've got no thoughts on it. NU. I've got no thoughts on NU. Did you want me to do the earnings for you? I mean, you are a member and you've done a $5 super chat, so you can have an earnings for NU if that's what you want. No problem. If you can pump Tillay to $10, I'll give you $1,000. I'll do my best. Right, okay, let's have a little look. We've got a bit of time. So this is what I'm going to do. Tillay Brands, ticker symbol TLRY. Is it undervalued? Is it good time to buy? Well, I've always said anything under $2 is a good entry point. It's 173. However, it's not making any money right now, is it? Let's be honest. It's all about this. Yep. It's all about tomorrow, the US election. We're going to cover it live. Both parties, Republican and Democratic Party, have both said it's on their agenda to get it done. It went a bit quiet, though. We thought for a moment it was all going to get passed and it would be part of the election battle, you know, who was going to push it through quicker. But there's been some hiccups along the way. However, that's presented opportunity. I was just looking at the valuation and all the numbers for it. I'm not going to share it with you in this video. It's only a short video because there isn't anything great to say right now. There's nothing to talk about. Earnings is a way off. There's no real news. There's nothing that exciting. But what we do have is the Trump trade, or we have the Kamala trade election trade tomorrow. Now, we are going to cover the earnings tomorrow. Expect volatility in all of these stocks because markets like certainty. They don't like uncertainty, and we could have a result a week away. It could take as long as that. If Donald Trump loses, he could then contest it. We could go on for quite a while. So that presents opportunity, which I love. I have got no issue with that whatsoever. I hope the market does crash 30% because I'll buy as much S&P as I can put my hands on. Absolutely right. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to cover it live. Expect volatility tomorrow and expect movement in this stock. There'll be a lot of movement in DJT. There'll be a lot of movement in Bitcoin. There'll be a lot of movement in Tillay Brands. And, of course, there'll be movement in all stocks tomorrow. But particularly on Wednesday, the FOMC report, and we're covering that live as well. You might want to join us for that. So what do I think? Tillay Brands, is it worth buying? Well, of course, I'm not a gambler or a speculator, which is what it is right now, but I am an investor. I wouldn't buy this stock. I have to be honest right now, not because I don't believe in it. I believe if we get full rescheduling, which I believe we will, it's a $40 stock. No question. However, when will that happen? If you park your money for 5 years, you could have made it just in the S&P over the time, right? No one knows how long it's going to take. Will it all fizzle out after the election and people won't get it pushed through? I don't think so. I think this is going to happen. I said it would happen by the election, but that never happened. I was wrong there. I really thought somebody would get behind it and use it as some sort of incentive to vote for us. We're going to declassify. We're going to reschedule this. But anyway, but it will present opportunity. Are you a trader of this stock? Are you an investor of this stock? You can make money either way. I've made 19 trades over in October and won 19 times. Ended up with 5.5 free shares of the S&P for simply trading. And I showed you how I did that on a video this morning. Go and check that out. It's called 6X. I 6X'd the stock market. Go and check it out. Anyway, this is tomorrow. FOMC report. We'll cover it live. Join us for this as well. You might want to be part of it. Could be a big day tomorrow. But Tillay Brands is very volatile at the moment. It doesn't really have any intrinsic value. It's not really making any money at the moment. It's a sleeper, basically. It's a sleeper, but it hasn't really gone any lower, has it? It's been hovering around this level all the time. I would love to share some positive news with you, but there really isn't. We've talked about the news before about someone that's brought it to Congress. We've done that. It's not gone anywhere. So I don't want to repeat old news that's just going round and round and everybody gets excited about nothing and it goes back down again. We want some real news that will actually drive the stock up to at least $4 or $5. But it won't take much. A good bit of news on the election or volatility, there's a rumor of something, then we're at $5-6 quite quickly and at $40 with rescheduling. What do you think? If you like this content, please do tap the like button. We're just about to ring the bell and consider subscribing to the channel. We've got Palantir earnings tonight after hours. We'll be covering it in a minute. Click above my head for all the links down below in the description. Over here I shall put the Tillay Brands, I'll put the election and the FOMC report as well. 2 live events, Tuesday and Wednesday, 5th and 6th of November. And you might want to check out my music channel as well. I've just done a tribute to Quincy Jones, who sadly passed away this morning. I recorded a song for him and the family and friends and fans of Quincy Jones. That's it from me. Good luck, everyone, in Tillay Brands. I'd love to give more information, but that's all we have. It's a sleeper. Nothing at the moment. You want to bet on it with the election? Let's see what happens tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and each other. Let's have a look. Let's go back to Palantir. In fact, we don't need to go back there just yet because we're about to shut down the show and go over to the earnings. So let me do that now. Let me set that up. Let me read the comments. Hell, I sell at 4. LOL, rescheduling report, January 25th, so hopefully by the end of Q1. Go DB. Well, we've had this before, but let's hope that this time could be different. We've had lots of promises. Is SMC going to increase by earning TMR? Stephen Lewandowski, 26 months. Wahoo! 26 months. You'll have your 3-year badge soon. By the way, Stephen, I don't think you ever joined us on the VIP founder members on X. I gave you the link, and you never came back as a request to join. I don't think you did. Anyway, 0.25 or 0.5, definitely a cut. Probably 0.5. No, 0.25 tomorrow. Sorry, at Wednesday. 0.25 tomorrow at Wednesday. Just wait until their booze hits the shelves. Yes, songs. Yeah. Anyone know if SMC is going to increase? I don't. Monte Cristo, I'd love to share your comments. I'm not able to because you're using a swear word in your name, unfortunately. So I can't share it on the screen. I'd like to, but I'm unable to do that, I'm afraid. Tillay's never going to go to 40. They have agreements set up to sell share offerings, so when it goes up, they will likely release new shares. Of course, there's dilution. Of course, you're dead right there. But anyway, still believe it can do $40.
Treasury volatility
All right,
has
we're about
really
to ring the
spiked,
bell.
so that could be one part of it. As Chris was saying, though, credit spreads have been
Here
really
we go.
tame.
We
so
got
it's not
Palantir
really telling you
earnings
about a
coming
macro
up in a
event.
minute.
It's really just about repricing of the Treasury curve and maybe Fed
Palantir
expectations.
earnings
I do
imminent.
think Treasuries rallied
We will
almost
cover it
exactly
live.
where they needed to, so to
Earnings,
speak,
we've got
before getting out of
the
hand. So
election
therefore,
day
yields
special
come in
tomorrow.
with the help of that
Red,
kind of
white, and
noisy,
blue
soft jobs
in the
report
studio,
on
and then we've
Friday,
got
and then today a little bit of a bid. It just
FOMC,
seemed like
and we've
whatever the
got
big move
Virgin
was over the
Galactic
prior
earnings. If
couple
you
of
want
weeks,
an earnings,
the market's taking some of
$5
that
super
back.
chat minimum
Some
and
of
be
that,
a member.
for example, in bank stocks
Here we
today
go.
is going on. So I don't think it's decisive. I think if yields shot up from here, equity markets probably
There we
would
go.
love it.
We're just
It would
coming
take
up
very
now
well.
to
But
ringing the
right now in this
bell.
range, it seems
Let's
okay,
see
given where
if
the economic
Palantir
growth numbers
moves.
seem to be tracking.
Oh, my Roth bouncing.
Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you. That's Mike Santoli. We'll go red across the board today. Dallas.
There's the bell. Fantastic. Nice little push after the bell. What's the main index doing? Lovely stuff.
That bell marks the end of regulation. S&P Global ringing the closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Ares Capital Corporation doing the honors at the NASDAQ. It was a mixed session
Global.
on election
Let's have a look
eve
at
for
that.
the sectors. Utilities a big loser, energy
today,
big winner,
a little bit,
technology
not much
about
to
flat,
shout about,
Dow,
really.
S&P, NASDAQ, all losing ground, but small caps going out with gains. That's the scorecard on Wall Street, but winners stay late. Welcome to Closing Bell Overtime. I'm John Ford.
Okay, they're going to a commercial break. Everybody's always having a break in America. Always having a rest. I'm having a rest. I've been going to 5 minutes. Need to have a break. Bloody ridiculous. Anyway, what's going on? Let me send everyone now to our Palantir special. We're going to do Day Trade of the Day. Hey all, welcome back, Martin. Bart, lovely to have you back. You're still a member. Thank you. We only lost 4 members throughout October, and 2 of them came back this morning. I couldn't believe it. So we only lost 2 members throughout the whole of October. Isn't that incredible? Thank you for your support. Really do appreciate it. Absolutely awesome stuff. Right, we're now going over to the Palantir earnings. So we will start early. So let me give everyone the link. It's in the chat. I see it's already in the chat. I did it earlier. There you go. There it is. It's all inclusive app for Southeast Asia, says GoDB. Flat day. We'll do the earnings. We'll do the day trader of the day in a moment. Here is the event for tonight. We're going to be there in just a couple of moments. So let's clear the boards, do day trader of the day, and roll the credits if we've got anything to celebrate there. Let's just change the show to go directly to the Palantir earnings. So here we go. So if you stay right where you are, it'll automatically take you there, or you can use the link, or you can just go and find it your bloody self. So it's up to you, really. You can be lazy and let me do the work for you, or you can go and type it all into Google search bar and search for it the old-fashioned way if you want. All right. Anyway, I think we're all good. Let's do day trader of the day. Let's see who wins today. Are you ready? Okay. Let's see who wins. Are you ready? All right. Let's rock and roll. The winner is...
The year is
I am down 0.4.
People are living together and
Not an issue. Down 0.4%.
This is
All right. Put the scores on the doors. Up 2.3, says Vaz. Remember, you have to be a member to qualify for the competition. Brian Bynum is down 0.46. 3.25 up. Fantastic, Mike. Is Mike going to win today? when did Mike last win? Mike, you could be the winner. Up 2.4. The GOAT is back. Sebastian Rendon Dias. Thank you so much indeed. Lovely to have you back. Tap the like button. We've got 64 watching, 18 likes. Let's see if we can... 28 likes, 63 watching. Very nice. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. That'd be nice. All right, so... Go on, Mike. Never. Tillay is up. also 2.4. Yay, 2.4. But, you know, Mike's never won. 3.25. Absolutely great. I'm going to call it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the very first time in the history of the world ever, Mike wins Day Trader of the Day. Can you believe it? Mike is the winner. I can't believe it. Thank you, Mike. Absolutely honest trade. Give him the thumbs up. I love it. Mike is the winner. Come on, let's hear some love for Mike. Absolutely awesome as we roll the credits tonight. Roll the credits live. Let's get out of here. Absolutely brilliant. Going over now to the Palantir earnings. Subscribers, Mariano, Sick Reflect, Diamond Twins, Entertainment Foundation, and Paul Xavier. We've had lots of new subscribers today. Absolutely fantastic. Where is that button down there? There's the button just there. Awesome stuff. Great. Good day. So, Palantir earnings coming up. We're about to go there live right now. Palantir is up 7%. Let's go back. We've got some movement here. We've got some movement. This could be jumping the gun though. PLTR. Oh, look at that. Palantir.
Treasury yields pare back a little bit, which
Wind
is interesting.
reports,
I think regardless
results,
again of what happens,
it's not
and this
Palantir though. I doubt if the numbers are out. 8%. Look at that. Palantir's flying. I doubt very much if that's the result though. First person to win in season 4. Go Mike. I'm so happy. I can't believe it. It's absolutely brilliant. Palantir tonight, 9%, 10%. Oh, it's pushing up. Let's have a look. See, we haven't got the earnings result yet. I think it's a bit early for that. But let's have a little look. Let's have a look. PLTR. Let's go over to
company earnings at 10 cents adjusted per share. That was a penny better than expectations. Revenue $726 million. That was also a beat, up 30% year over year. Palantir forecasting Q4 revenue of $767 to $771 million. That's higher than analyst estimates. Adjusted free cash flow in excess of $1 billion for the full year. 2024 U.S. commercial revenue raised to upwards of $687 million. That represents a growth rate of at least 50%. So for the quarter specifically, this is a U.S. story. U.S. government up 40% year over year to $320 million. U.S. commercial revenue up 54% year over year to $179 million. 104 deals over $1 million closed in the quarter.
Wow.
Customer count up 39% year over year. All, I might add, with almost no marketing or sales team. I spoke with CEO and co-founder Alex Karp. He says the results show that the value in AI is in the management of large language models as opposed to the creation of them. That, quote, the winners in AI will be powered by Palantir and the losers will read analyst notes. In his shareholder letter, Karp saying, quote, this is the software century and we intend to take the entire market. So I asked how Palantir plans to do that. Karp pointing to the defense side, a shift to software-driven with hardware-dominated military environment.
10 cents a share, expected 9 cents a share.
Middle East. On the commercial side, saying any vertical with complex operations is where they're seeing adoption. Hospitals, manufacturing, logistics, to name a few. Karp saying, quote, what I want you to tell people is we need to invest even more in the government space and in industry and implementing AI that is actually changing our enterprise, because this is how we make America even stronger and there is no real alternative to us. He says it could be called almost U.S. AI, that, quote, our bias on this is so differentiated from the market, although apparently people in Silicon Valley are starting to understand this, but it's just giving a structural advantage to America first and our allies second. You can see this on the battlefield. You see it in U.S. industry. The inverse of this, you see it in the sluggishness, lack of perception, and general malaise in continental Europe. That it's a tale of two worlds, the AI-driven world and the AI-rejecting world. So if you take a look at shares of Palantir, they're popping right now. They're up 11%. The bar was high here. The stock's
yes,
up over
I'm covering the
140%
election
this year.
all
It's up
day tomorrow.
more than 580%.
And we're covering
from late
Palantir earnings
2022
tonight. And we're
lows
covering
of
the FOMC report.
$6 a share. And Adam, I'm going to go back to you on this one because this has been a retail darling, but I know everybody talks about it as, software company, software, enterprise, but in some ways it almost reminds me of NVIDIA because NVIDIA has been growing into its
SMC,
valuation,
if you
and
are
in
a
some
member of
ways,
the channel,
analysts
do
are
a
having a hard
$5
time
super chat
wrapping
and
their
cover the
arms
earnings for
around
you.
how quickly it's growing into its valuation. At least that's been the case over the last few years. Palantir seems to be a very similar dynamic, at least right now.
I mean, look, you're back to 30% year-over-year revenue growth. You just said I think that was a golden number for the market.
Wow,
and I think
what a return!
You know,
I still wouldn't buy
NVIDIA,
it.
like you said, is actually getting cheaper on a forward multiple basis as it goes up. It's honestly cheaper now than it was 3 years ago on a forward multiple basis, which is incredible. That's just how quickly that company is growing. Now you have Palantir, which is kind of taking the AI trend, but not looking at it from the hardware perspective and the chip perspective, but how can you implement that into companies and governments and everything from that we're used day to day. I think this is the first company that's really able to do that successfully and command the premium that we're seeing in that stock. And based on the market's reaction, I think it can keep going higher here.
All right. Adam Kubasi from the Kubasi Letter and Paul Hickey from Bespoke Investment Group. Thank you. Well, hims and hers earnings are now out. Brandon Gomez has those
There
numbers.
we go.
Brandon.
Fantastic. So Palantir could run and run for a while now. Congratulations to those of you who are in it. So we do need to then go into the Palantir earnings as quickly as possible. It doesn't start just yet, but we want to be there. So the Palantir earnings, we're going to go there right now. What a great night if you've got Palantir, flipping heck. Again, it's not an investment for me. It's very speculative at this stage. It's great business, great innovation, but the price is insane. Anyway, there is the Palantir earnings. We're going to go live there right now. I've given you the link in the chat. I'll give it to you again, and we're going to go and cover the earnings. Let me give it to you there. Right, we're going to end this show right now. I will see you back live in a couple of minutes. Automatically, it will take you there. Click on the link pinned to the top. Click the link in the chat. Whichever way you do it, I will see you there for a great evening of Palantir earnings. Wow, what can I say? I just can't stand to buy Palantir. I think it's stupid. That's why I didn't buy Palantir. But it's like you just have to follow the herd. Yeah, don't follow the herd. It doesn't matter. If you're making money, you're never losing money. It's fine. You don't have to chase every stock. It's lovely to see it going up so much. It'll benefit the S&P tomorrow anyway. So, but not as much as that, obviously. It's probably like 0.07 of a percent, so it would hardly move at all. But nevertheless, it's still good for the index. You'll be the season 4 champ. A good God is good. Good God. That was for Mike. All right. I'll see you back for the Palantir earnings. Join me. What a night this is going to be. See you back in a minute. Don't go away. Take care of yourselves and each other.